Today we're talking with Cubs AAA shortstop Hayden Cantrelle. He's one of my favorite content creators who's also a current minor league baseball player. In this episode, we got to talk to him about creating content while playing minor league baseball, his journey from playing in high school to college to playing in the minors, and what it was like filming a video on the same day he got traded. This is one of my favorite interviews. Can't wait for you to check out this episode of Brolletts. This week's episode is presented by RT Shades. This is a sunglass brand I started with my dad to help athletes block out distractions. And right now you can get 2 pairs for $49 at rtshades.com. Thanks for supporting this podcast. Now head to rtshades.com. First, where are you right now as we're recording this? And how's the season been going so far?
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa right now. We just got back on a road trip from St. Paul, Minnesota. Season's been going great. I started the season with the Tennessee Smokies in Knoxville. Probably not where I wanted to start the season. But it allowed for some growth. It allowed me the opportunity to play shortstop a little bit more, develop that part of my skill set, and get here to a point where hopefully we're going to be in consideration to help the big club. So that's kind of how the season has been going. Kind of slow to begin the season. I had to make some adjustments in the batter's box and in my approach to kind of clean up some things. Still have to do that, but in general, I'd say my body of work, I don't hate it, but we're trending upward, I would say.
That's a good sign, man. To set some context for maybe people who don't know who you are, where are you at kind of in your career? You played college ball and a couple years in the minors, bounced around some teams. Give us a little bit of the context of where you're at in your career.
Yeah, so this is I think it's my sixth pro season, I believe. 2020 didn't count because I got drafted in 2020. We didn't play, but I did play indie ball in 2020. I was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 5th round of 2020. I played my first season in 2021 with the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. Got to AA by the end of 21. In 22, I got traded the day before the season to the Miami Marlins. And on opening day, I actually played my old teammates on the opening day of 2022. So I actually made a video of that. That was pretty interesting. 2 months later, I got traded to the San Francisco Giants, and I went from AA, and they put me back in rookie ball. So I had to kind of re-navigate that part of my career. I had never played rookie ball. I started in high A and with a AA. So when I got to the Giants, I went back to rookie ball. I played rookie ball for 2 weeks, which is a tough challenge coming from up to down because the level of play it's not that it's less, but it's more random. So getting a feel for what the pitcher's throwing, etc., is a little tough. So I did that for 2 weeks, and then I got sent to San Jose, California later that summer, played 2 months there, and then we finished the season in high that year with Patrick Bailey and a bunch of other big leaguers, and we won a league championship in Vancouver, Canada for the Northwest League Championship. So that was pretty neat. 2023 played in Richmond, Virginia. That was played the full season there. 2020 that off season got Rule 5 to the Chicago Cubs. And I played half the season in Knoxville last year, and I played the second half in Iowa. I broke my finger. I had a fractured wrist. So I had to grind it out in rehab. I had a couple rehab at bats, and they sent me back on a 5 a.m. flight back to Des Moines. I took my 0 for 3, and then I was back to real life. But and then this year started with Knoxville, and then here in AAA. So that's where it's kind of been. I've been with, I guess that's my fourth team so far, and I still have 1 more year under my minor league contract. So that's kind of how my playing journey has been as a pro. I went to University of Louisiana in Lafayette, my hometown. That's the school where my dad went. The same guy who coached my dad recruited me. And I played shortstop when I got school there, and I had a few other offers. A lot of people ask if you not good enough to go to LSU, blah, blah, blah. Grew up, LSU was always a big rivalry for my family. I remember getting trash talked by my friends because they like the big SEC school. I like the local school. So getting tiger baited, whatever, going to getting ready to go play the games, and then we beat them 3-0 3 times in college. Never lost to them, so that's a big. I take a lot of pride in that. So, in a nutshell, it's kind of how my career is going. I also got drafted out of high school by the Yankees. I didn't sign though. I went to college. I really wanted to sign out of high school and play college football. That was like my dream always growing up. Physically, I was not in a state to play college football when I was 18. So maybe now I could, but those eligibility is long and gone. So no more punt returning or kickoff returnings for the Five Guys.
So your brand's the Five Guy. Where did that come from?
That was just a nickname. Five has always been my nickname. My dad wore 5 in college. I wore 5 the second I could pick a number that I wanted. And then it was just my name was 5 growing up. My friends didn't call me Hayden. I wasn't Cantrelle. I was 5 until I was about 17. So guys would just kind of like make play on names like Fiver, Five Guy. And so one of our first basemen, that's just what he would call me. He'd call me the Five Guy. And so among my friends in college, that's the one they used the most. It kind of stuck. And then we made a vlog when I was in the Cape Cod. It was a day in the life of a Cape Cod leaguer. And remember going to the Cape Cod and trying to like search up on YouTube, like what is the Cape Cod about? What am I getting into? And there was only like one video from like 15 years prior about like what the experience was about. And so that was just something that a buddy of mine had like put a GoPro on his Snapchat story like the week prior for sale. And I was like, this is just like timeliness. Maybe it's time. So I got a little GoPro. Peyton Glavin, a friend of mine, he kind of helped me put together a project in the Cape. And so we got some funny clips and guys liked it. So we just kept rolling with it. But yeah, that was the Five Guy brand. That's how it started. 7 years ago, actually. I just got that notification. So that was 7 years ago.
You started creating content 7 years ago on YouTube, way before the day in the life stuff was popular, especially for baseball guys. What made you start?
So at first it was just for fun. I made that first video just to kind of like test the water, see if I enjoyed doing it. My dad was a broadcast major. So I remember going in the booth with my dad, and he would do like color commentating for games. My dad also did like documentary type videos of his college experience for class, like unrated, unfiltered. Like obviously you couldn't do that now, but the sort of the content was just like, I thought it was so sweet. Like the whole college lifestyle is like, maybe some people could get a little bit more of a taste of it. And when I was growing up, everybody watched 10-minute long videos. Like that was kind of like it wasn't 15-second short form, a minute and a half short form. Like the 10-minute projects are what I grew up watching. Like I wouldn't click on a video if I couldn't kill 10 minutes. So it was like, that's kind of how that started. But it at first I started doing YouTube and I was like, oh, I'm going to really do it for subscribers and a lot about interactions. And over the years, I found that I enjoyed making the projects more because it's more about like when I go look back at these periods of time in my life, like it's kind of subtle, but I'll say something that will kind of like trigger me to like, oh, this is what I was thinking back then in the box, left-handed. My approach is a little bit different. These were my friends. This is what we were joking about. Like more or less, that's what the YouTube journey has become for me. And that's been a lot better mindset to make just authentic content instead of I'm just trying to maybe like satisfy a certain like,
algorithm or whatever.
Yeah. What people want to see. And there is a time for that, but YouTube has become less of that and more about me documenting for myself so I can go back and kind of just like maybe enjoy it. Or sometimes I go click back on a video and be like, dang, dude, I forgot about, I was working on that and that was working type of stuff. So
that's wild, man. We've talked to a lot of college guys and they don't have the same realization I think that you're starting to get is like, man, like what, like you saw with your dad documenting his college process. Now you got it. Like now imagine your kids get to see grandpa and their dad. Cause it's easy for me. Like I tell him all the time, like, dude, back in high school, I was the guy and I was this, but like, you're actually going to have the footage, to show him. And like, I just think it's so cool. Like, and you don't really understand it in the moment, but I think just having that documentation, even just for your own self is so valuable. And then there's all the other stuff that comes along with it, which is cool, which we'll talk about.
You documented a lot of your college career and now some of your pro career. What's the biggest difference in creating content as a college athlete versus a pro athlete?
Um, in college, I would say when I was in school, I had like NCAA like checking to making sure I wasn't making money back then.
Yeah, this is pre-NIL. Yeah.
Right. So before that was a thing, before I had it made, man. I had it. I would have been able to get a bag in this.
You would have been the guy, man. Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. So so in college, you're kind of more or less trying to well, one, you can't make money, and then two, depending on where you go to school, it's not really like a cool thing to be making YouTube videos about what the whole squad is doing, because it's a pretty like private deal, kind of, you know. So you got to find ways to navigate that. The best way is you get better at not recording other people. You get better recording yourself. You get better at speaking. You go do it by yourself, and that's kind of, honestly, I really feel like that's where I developed the skill, because I can tell my own story because I'm not relying on other people to like supply me with some energy or do a little antic for me. I didn't record in the locker room. I recorded in college in the locker room maybe one time, and that was just when we were packing bags about to get on a bus. So it was like, that's kind of a gray area you don't really mess with. Pro ball, kind of the same. But guys are less of your friends. Not that they're not your friends, but guys are not there for your content. In college, you go to school with guys from August to May. So like, and then for multiple years. So these are people that's like, everybody's the same sort of person. Everybody's probably cool with you vlogging. If anything's like, man, dude, that's kind of fun, blah, blah, blah. Pro ball, you do your best to stay out of guys' hair in general. So that's me. I don't ever want to be like, guys get media. Guys get hounded by card sharks every day. They don't need one of their teammates being another one of those in general. But the reality is, that's just my perspective. And a lot of them would go, Cantrelle, where's the camera? Where's the vlog? You know, so that's like a big difference for me. But I'm trying to be professional, like just out of respect in my teammates' boundaries. But it's different though, because it's a lot of college programs will have like media people that will kind of give you a camera, like, hey, go give us a day in the life, and they can kind of like clean it up. As a pro, generally, you're not really getting help from any social media team, or like you could, but like it's not really that practical, because they have a job to do, and they have to do it every day because we play 6 games a week. So it kind of gets tough for like getting in the locker room, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's just like, you just try to stay out of it. But in general, it is a different experience because you get to show the pro side of things, which is kind of evolving over the last 5 years. When I got into pro ball, we had to pay for our own housing. I had a host family. Last week in Minnesota, my host family from 2021 made a 4-hour weekend trip to just come watch me play one game. So it was just like little things like that. So, you know, it's been really special, and hopefully I can keep like continuing to show that level. Hopefully like a big league debut video where I would still be videoing just myself, and people like, man, Cantrelle, you made a vlog out of yesterday? You know, like, we could have been in it. But
You documented you getting traded. What was that like?
that was a crazy experience. Because you kind of still have like that college kid mindset until you get traded, because you still think it's like, I committed with you guys paid me, you guys want me, why do you guys not want me? And it's, in reality, that's not like what the baseball business is at all. You know, that if they feel like they get an equal replacement, then it's a net zero. So like, as a player, you have to realize that the more times you get to move, maybe it's the more opportunities you get, the more eyes people are on you. But it's tough because you kind of make friends the way you do in college, and not expecting that like you're not going to play with these guys forever because you don't know better. But I remember after my first season, I hung out with the same group of 5-6 dudes every day. We all hung out in my host family's garage after games, like every single day. And then after that season, all 5 of us got dealt. So 4 of us got traded, 1 got Rule 5. So like, just that alone is just kind of like, the guys you think you're going to be with every week may be different by week, by trade deadline, by next season. So when I got traded, it was just kind of like, wow, like you go back to like, there's nobody with the next team. And all you have is the routines for your offensive plan, your routines for your defensive plan, your routines for your weight room plan. And if you don't have that, like that's what you don't have anything feel like it's anchoring you, I would say. So when you get traded, it has to do a lot about like, okay, when you get to your next spot, stay in your routine. Everything else around you, as far as like camaraderie and friends and the social environment, will just kind of evolve its way out. So it's kind of a weird experience being the guy that's got dealt twice. The second time, I obviously feel like I had a better approach to it, but it's kind of shocking. Yeah.
How hard is it to create content while in season?
It is near impossible. But I think back to your previous question, it has a lot to do with like how are you practicing it and how is your routine for editing? For me, editing is very tough because it's also very expensive. So it takes substantial amount of time, especially to crank out a 10-minute project. In general, I think I would probably benefit to making a lot more short form, but that's not what I enjoy, quite honestly. So, but when I'm in a rhythm with editing, making projects on like the weekly, bi-weekly basis is a lot easier. My phone has also been broken once I got promoted, so there was a big gap for months where I couldn't make anything. I had a bunch of footage on my phone, all clipped up, and I got water damage on my phone. My screen broke. And then I'm also lazy. So on the road, going from road trips, and then my phone is on its last leg. My teammates are like, Cantrelle, your phone died again. It's like, yeah. So, but yeah, so I got a new phone. That makes editing a lot easier. But yeah, it's a tough task, and it just takes time. You got to say, I am going to start right now. And when I start, I'll go for like an hour and a half consecutively, whatever. But if I just don't even upload the footage or cut the footage before I go to put it in my little editor, then it just doesn't get done for a week. So it is very difficult. But I think that's when you can get it done and get the little consistency rolling, it's not difficult.
Yeah. Well, the other side too, I imagine, is obviously there's a mental side too. Like when you're playing well, right? You want to do things that showcase you playing well. When you're not playing well, the focus has to be on getting back to playing well, right? Because
it's a great point.
Like as much as the content side's fun, it's good for you. You got to keep the main thing. Like your goal is to play for the Cubs one day, right? And so, like, there's a balance there too of like,
absolutely.
So how do you balance that?
The reality is I've scrapped at least 6 projects over the last 3-4 years because of that reason. Like I've made it, and I've been so and I don't mind posting myself struggling, and I have struggled, and I don't mind showing it, but I make the content, so when I go back and watch, I'm trying to see, what do I remember what was going on, what was the adjustment. And some of these videos, there was no adjustment being made, and it made me so mad. I just cut a 15-minute project and said, I don't even need to see it. So regretfully though, because it's all good to see. And I think even people who you think are evaluating you, that you're like, oh, people are evaluating me and they're watching it. It's another level of them seeing this guy just ate it, and he's just coming by it honestly, and he's trying to find the adjustment with it. But that is when you're not playing well, you feel like you don't deserve the right to go make content like that, because you feel like you're divided. You're like, I'm not good at this because I'm too focused on the other thing. And that's not necessarily the way things work. In college, people would probably be more inclined to say that. In pro ball, you need something that can divide your focus, because the way baseball consumes people in my line of work is because they only think about it. It's the only thing they think about. And it's hard because every day you have to think about it like that. And the way you're like, even when you got an off day, like, how am I going to handle my off day in the weight room, my routine, so that I'll be better the next day? And the reality is, like, some of those days you have to go play golf. You have to go watch a movie. You have to go live a normal person life. Go do something besides go to the park, get ready. You're there for 10 hours. You recover at the park. You go home. You go to bed. and you wake up, eat breakfast. By the time you're done eating breakfast and lunch the next day, you go right back to doing the same thing. Like, if you love the game, I really love the game, probably more than everybody else. But that alone will, and if you're not having stupendous amount of success, you're not going to be loving that lifestyle the way you would if you had something that you could go spend your time on. Oh, the boys are looking forward to all getting on the sticks tonight and playing for a couple hours. Like, dudes love that. Like, that I think that is an underrated part of the job that makes it easier, is being able to like give it to something else, do something else for a little bit. And YouTube is that for me when I'm doing it. So as hard as it is to make a project, and as much as I may be embarrassed about the product, it's still a good product.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you think creating content has helped or hurt your career?
I think it's helped because there was a lot of like my season got cut short in 2020 in college, and I wasn't playing well when the season ended my draft year, and the only footage I had was documented. I had Cape Cod documented over a couple summers, and there were scouts telling me that there was no baseball to watch, so we were watching your stuff on the YouTube. Like, we got to see some of your stuff. I think overall it's helped. You know, I can't say for sure, but I hit 170 my first year of pro ball, and then got to AA by the end of the year, and then I got traded the next season to another team. Didn't play amazing with that next squad and got traded again. So I feel like being out there was an opportunity for people to at least be like, follow the story. And if you follow, you're like, maybe there's something there. He doesn't have it all figured out right now, but there's some good, maybe. I don't know for sure. And then I documented indie ball too. So I played in indie ball before I got to meet my affiliate club. They got to watch me kind of go through a season of indie ball, kind of documenting it like that. So I wouldn't say it's hard to tell either or. Personally, I would say it's helped because I have a good catalog of organized footage, left and right-handed, playing second base, playing shortstop, and be like, ooh, I didn't like the way that looked. And I've always been an aesthetic watcher of my stuff. Like, I've always watched film on, like, when I was a quarterback, I watched everything about Johnny Manziel and Tom Brady and the quarterbacks I wanted to be like. And baseball, I've kind of managed to I'm a certain kind of player. There's not a lot of players that kind of play like I do. So I get a lot of information watching myself as a left and right-handed, because it's also really specific too. Baseball is really specific. Like football, everybody can kind of do things a similar way. You see a scheme, you see a cover 2 scheme, you beat a cover 2 scheme like this. You see a cover 3, you beat a cover 3 like this. There's a man, you beat man coverage like this. When you're in the box, it's how does Hayden Cantrelle left-handed beat this guy? How does Hayden Cantrelle right-handed beat that guy? And over time, I feel like you see some trends, you can make some adjustments. And the video platform has helped me do that, because instead of having to scurry through my phone, it's in a 10-minute project. When I was in Peoria, Illinois in 2021, and I was struggling, what was that, etc.
Why don't more minor league players create content?
It's too much effort. It's too much effort. Guys don't want to do that. And guys generally have enough money that they don't think of outside business ventures. YouTube is my secondary business venture. And I don't make a lot of money from it, but it has helped me with brand sponsorships, and but I'm interested in it. Like, guys aren't interested in editing stuff like that or talking on a phone. Like, a lot of guys can't even speak, so like they don't want to speak on a phone. Yeah, they don't want to. So I enjoy it. Maybe it's in my blood. My mom is a speech therapist. My dad is a broadcast major. So between the two, like, I don't mind sharing my experiences. And I enjoy it. I feel like it's actually a good release for me. So, but yeah, a lot of guys don't want to. They're not into that. They let other people record them, and then other people upload it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for other minor league players who want to start creating content?
Develop a routine where it saves you time. If it starts costing you 6 hours, well, it cost me about at least 4 hours of work to get a project out. Like, if you don't have that, then it's not going to be worth it, unless you need something to divvy up your time, But it's the best experience I would say is honestly probably if I were to start now, I started in 2018, but if I started now, I would probably be like heavy on the shorts. I'd do more shorts than short form than like the 10-minute, and then here and there I'd probably upload a 10, but it's all about consistency. And if you can start with once a month, and then you can get down to once every 2 weeks, and then once a week. If you can get 2 a week or 3 a week, that's the best my channel has ever done was when I did that. I took the most work and I was the most organized, but I had the best balance between my work, which was off season or in season related, and or editing the footage, getting it done, putting it out. Like when that system was flowing, I can't really put words to that, but when that system was flowing, that was when it's the most lucrative. That's when you get the most traffic. That's when you have the most fun. So I had like my biggest growth from like 1,000 to like 17,000. No, that's not true. From like 3,000 to like 17,000 was all over like a month or two. And it was just bam, 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 bam. And then once I got to like 22,000, it all kind of like slowed down as much. And also my consistency measure wasn't the same.
Love that answer. I want to talk a little about the Five Guy brand. You've got some merch, you've got some protective gear, you got some really fun stuff. Like, how did all that come about? Was that just something like you wanted for yourself, or you were building this little social following and you wanted an extra way to monetize? Like, what were you thinking around that?
So, my first merchandise attempt was post draft in 2020, and I had already had the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel I was honestly working on the YouTube channel more than I was playing baseball because of COVID and whatnot. So when I had gotten drafted, a lot of my followers were like, "Hey, where's the merchandise? You got any shirts?" And it's like, it's hard when people are asking you if you have shirts and you don't have any, because like that's a big deal. When merch can hit, it can be very successful. I know a lot of, well, I don't know them personally, but there are YouTubers that they'll make 50,000 a year just strictly off of merchandise. And like it is tedious, very tedious. So I was trying to find a way. I was like, okay, well, it's my first time doing this. I don't know how to make shirts. I don't know how to make logos. So I outsourced it my first time doing it. I made like a Five Guy debut t-shirt. It was like it was kind of navy with a gold, big huge Five Guy logo on the t-shirt in gold, like kind of like Milwaukee Brewers colorway. And I was trying to that was my first attempt at the merchandise, and it flopped compared to what I do now. I paid for way too many shirts at the first off the bat, and it took me a long time to get rid of them. And then I learned, it evolved to, we got like this, we got a system, we got a logo cutter, and we started, getting some bulk t-shirts of different qualities and hoodies of different qualities, making the logos and pressing them in my garage. And so now we have a system at my house where we have like the press in the garage, and we got like the logos, we don't have to cut them. So over time, I've over years found ways to stop, kind of minimize the amount of time it takes to produce the logos. And we found just better ways to, like, maybe I've ordered all the logos from a website and now they come in. So now we've minimized the steps. So now all we need is this, and then now we can just put the logo on there. But yeah, I've tried a bunch of things to try to get the, like, different processes. I've had people press the shirts for me. And right now we have the better profits and the quicker time when getting the outside, getting the hoodies and the t-shirts in bulk, getting the arm sleeves in bulk, and then we print out the crosses and different color crosses for the arm sleeves, and then whatever sort of trendy logo is being made. That's like the latest success I've had with the merchandise, was being able to do that. And but that's been great, because that's been another way of me able to just kind of like tell my story without even like have to go too far in. It's like, do you want to support the page? Yes or no? And if you do, it's available now. Like, and that has been one, I like to eat, and over the course of the season, I have to crunch like 3,000, 4,000 calories a day to go net zero, to not lose weight, just the way I play and all that. So like the merchandise has actually been great for me to be able to kind of keep some more of my earnings money in my pocket and kind of have some so that I can have a little spending money. I don't buy anything, but that's the thing. I literally only buy food. That's the only thing I really want in the season is to eat. So that's kind of what the merchandise is for. And then we've had some things come and go. Like I've made socks, I've made the batting glove. I use the batting gloves in game, but I've had bad quality that I'm like, this won't cut it, we can't sell this. Or the hats, I'm like, this won't cut it, we can't sell this. And I think that's equally as important as having something that is your brand and you think represents you. Because another way to not get more traffic is somebody buys a product that's not good. That's not it. That's not good business. That's not the way people come back. So that's the salesman of my dad coming out of my mouth right there.
Super important though.
Yeah, it's a good point. So finding ways to do it to as professional measure as we feel like we're not wearing Louis Vuitton, we're not selling whatever, but just trying to have it where it looks good. It means something to me. And then if it's a way where somebody else is wearing it, they can relate to, every time Hayden's, got the camera on a Dominican, they say tranquilo or whatever, something like that. Have a day. I say have a day a lot. Have a day was one of the hoodies for a while. So it's been fun. I learned a lot through that process.
What's your favorite thing that you've created so far for the brand?
And just anything I've created.
Just your favorite piece. Like, is there a certain hoodie? Was there something that you just got? You're like, dang, this is cool. Yeah.
The big one's the batting gloves. I had a Franklin deal coming out of college, and that was great. But I always feel like I wanted to make my own products. Eventually I want to make I can't say it yet, but there's a lot of things I want to make that are I want to wreck the industry, kind of like the way like Arya has with their stuff. You know what I mean? The creativity I've had with the sliding mitts is something I didn't think I'd have the opportunity of making. I've made socks with grips on them. Like there's some companies that sell those pairs of socks with grips on them for $60. Like I made those and they got the Five Guy logo on. I haven't sold them yet. But my favorite is probably the batting gloves I made. The batting gloves I'm using right now. You don't think that you can make a good quality leather batting glove that you think is pro standard. And to my own point, I've made them and still been like, I'm not wearing these because they're not whatever. And then I've worn a pair of a model from 2 years ago. I've worn them for the last 2 months, the same pair, and they're durable. They last a long time. The grip is good. That's probably my favorite. And the reality is I could probably make more colorways more often. But it's sometimes it takes a lot of effort to go make another colorway. And then some colorways don't come back with the same grip because it's different colors of leather have different tactfulness, whatever. So
dude, you're learning so much about crazy things that you probably never thought you'd be learning about, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I've always been a gear nerd. Like what kind of cleats is so and so wearing? Like I have been that since I was 10, 11. Like I knew what kind of glove Jose Reyes wore forever. In college I had that glove, or high school I wore that glove. What kind of batting gloves is Bobby Witt wearing? Sliding mitts or the belts. Oh, the belts. I've made belts now this year. Yeah. No, the belts are my favorite, not the batting gloves. The belts. Yeah, because they sell high quality leather belts on the internet go for $180, and which is if you wear a belt every day for your job, that's worth it. But I'm still thinking there's no way it costs that much. And then I made them myself and I'm like, they don't cost that much, but you can when you have a good product. And that's one I'm really proud of. I got a blue shiny leather belt with a red Five Guy logo on it. So that's my favorite. I'm sorry. I blundered that question, but you'd be surprised, and you try it and you can evolve things.
Love that, man. We made our way to the favorite product, which worked out. We got one more for you, then a couple rapid fires, let you get on with your off day. So I'll let you wrap it up.
Okay.
If you had an unlimited budget to create content and grow your brand, what would you spend it on?
Spend it on editing. And I'd spend it on photographers, or I'd spend it on videographers. I think at the ballpark it'd be so great to have like people there with the camera, just like little things like you walking on and off on deck circle, walking behind you, like maybe like post game, like that's a professional looking shot when you can get it. I've paid for that a few times. A buddy of mine, he helped edit for the Five Guy brand in 2020 and 2021, and he made his own production business, like because he got some reps working with the Five Guy brand, and then he has his own production business that does way better than I'm doing. But he's a guy I won't even call because like I respect his price, like, and I can't pay it right now. But it's such a professional look that like the people who have videographers and can afford it, their content booms because they just have this never ending cycle of somebody else recording, editing, getting it out. And then the whole time they're just doing the personality aspect of the whatever. So videographers for sure.
Yeah, I tell him that all the time. I'm like, first guy on payroll is going to be a camera guy to follow us around so that we don't have to do it. So love that answer.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into some rapid fire. Just kind of first thing that comes to your mind, and we'll have some fun.
What's your favorite pregame meal?
Cheeseburger. I'm a fatty, so I have to eat. If I don't eat, I'll be dehydrated, tired, and lose weight. So I gotta get them in. Pancakes too on the random. I'll eat pancakes at any time. Pancakes with peanut butter. Yep.
What's your favorite baseball accessory?
My glove. I don't even know if you can call that an accessory.
Well, what is the glove right now?
It's a Marucci. Marucci's kind of helping me out with outfield and infield gloves and bats this year. So my Marucci has been, I could probably only use it for 1 year. I can't go multiple years like you could like a pro preferred, but I'm also like a floppy glove guy. Like I like my glove loose. The best infielders I've ever played with and ever seen, they all play straight up and they have a flimsy glove. So Andrelton Sims is my favorite defender of all time. So if he's doing it, that makes sense for me. But I've always liked the flimsy glove. So when it doesn't hit, in that sweet spot every single time, if you got a good pocket, you got it. And that's really helpful, like when guys are stealing second and whatnot, because you got a quick push, and then you gotta trust that the ball's in there. So because you got to go to the tag next. So I'd probably say my favorite accessory is probably my hand guard. Probably my hand guards because I've been hitting the hands. My hands been messed up. People don't throw me away. They throw me in all the time. So, got to protect the hands, man.
That's funny, man. So we're in this tournament here, and literally first day, 3 at bats, hit twice. Next day, hey, I'm just like, dude, stop. Like, we're gonna have to start getting you some elbow guards, man. Like,
when they start throwing hard enough, man, it's not a joke. I got fussed at in college because I got fussed at in college for fouling too many balls off my shin in an inter squad, and I wasn't wearing a shin guard. And my coach pulled me out of practice because you're being an idiot. Go put your shin guard on. It's like I gotta stay inside the ball is what I was saying. But I was swinging as hard as I could, and in the same at bat, I hit the same ball off the same part of the shin 3 times, and he pulled me out of practice. He goes, "You're being an idiot because you're not wearing a shin guard." But yeah, that's how that evolves because it goes from being like, I'm kind of old school. My dad's old school. Anything you're wearing, like you need to earn the right to wear sunglasses. You need to earn the right to wear wristbands, tape, whatever it is. So like guards and all that, I was the last guy to come to all the guard stuff, like elbow guards. I'm like, I'm good. I'm a switch hitter. For them to hit me, they got to cross and yank it. And they still do. So you get hit in the elbow one time with, 96, it's not good. So you might as well strap up.
What's the coolest jerseys you won in your career?
I'm a big Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. So usually once a year, I'll get a chance to wear the Harry Potter uniform. So those are always up there. When I was with the Milwaukee Brewers, we wore a jersey called the Udder Tuggers. So, and it was a cow. Like it was a cow with udders. It was like spotted. Minor leagues are crazy. You get to wear some crazy stuff. I think that's one I've probably had the most fun with. They also had one where they wore like it looks like they're wearing overalls. I never got to wear those. Like it was like a brat inspired theme day in Wisconsin. Wisconsin's something else, man. But that was a fun one too.
Who's your favorite YouTube creator?
I watch a lot of Theo Vaughn. I like comedy. I watch a lot of comedy. There was a guy growing up, the guy who inspired me to kind of do YouTube, his name was his name is River Stevens. He played for the Padres. He made vlogs like 10, 11 years ago, and he did a really good job. He was like, did all the cinematics as a player. Like he was legit. He actually had a legit camera. Chill guy. His teammates loved him. You could tell by the way, they interacted with him on camera. I had a lot of respect for him. So that's one that comes to mind, and kind of in relation to kind of how I've done things. I'm trying to think currently. I watch a lot of there's a guy named Foolish Bailey. He does like baseball kind of like data, like deep data dives on like certain players or like certain characteristics of the game, like why are guys throwing hard? How do guys who don't throw hard get outs? Like little like niche things like that. But yeah, I'll stay with those two for now. There's also one that's called 80s Sports Home, where you can 80s and 90s Sports Home, where you can go watch like 80s and 90s games just on full run. I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I like watching that sort of stuff. So there'll be like an 86 game where it says like Michael Jordan drops 37 against the Pistons. I'll click on it, and that'll be like my background. I haven't watched TV in a long time. I watch games. I have MLB.com and I watch games. But besides that, I'm on YouTube just trying to like just cook time. So,
Would you ever play Banana Ball?
it's kind of like on the spot question. Of course, you don't know until they offer you something with a ignorant amount of money. But I'll say no for right now.
Good answer for where you are right now in your career.
I'd say yeah.
What's the coolest Hayden Cantrelle baseball card you've seen so far?
The coolest one I've seen, they had one of me from in college. I think it was like it's called like a Prism, I think, or something. I think that's the brand, but it's just kind of like shiny. It's me in I think I'm making like a throw from the 6-hole or whatnot. I haven't had very many unique baseball cards. I mean, I've signed them all. I've done the things. So there's like 1 of 1s, there's 1 of 3s, 1 of 5. Like all of those, I had never seen one of those ever. So I've seen them on eBay, I think a few times, but I've never in person seen somebody with that card besides the ones I've signed from Topps. So yeah, maybe some more cooler ones on the way, hopefully.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. Well, dude, man, thank you so much for doing this. I know it's your off day. We made you get up early, but this was super fun. We love learning from guys like you, sharing your journey, and yeah, man, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks for the time, guys.
We appreciate it, man. We'll link up all the socials and all the things below, and do best of luck this season, and hopefully we see you wearing that Cubs jersey real soon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, hopefully. Good luck to you guys as well. Keep going, brother. I love the stuff, man.
Yep, thanks.